In this lesson, we'll be going over basic navigation of the program. With the intended device open, launch the VPO softshell generator. We will notice 4 important sections: the viewport, where we will see our device; the outliner, that decides which assets are visible; bilateral parameters, these units control both orthotics; and then unilateral parameters, and these offer fine-tuning of each orthotic. Let's start by navigating the viewport. Assuming you're using a trackpad, use 2 fingers to orbit the image around a point. Spread or retract those fingers to zoom into that point. While holding shift, those 2 fingers will pan that orbit point in space. These 3 controls will take some getting used to. However, you won't need to navigate far in space, as the orthotic will always stay centered. So orbiting around the point and zooming in will be sufficient. If you played around in the viewport and don't like where your orbit is, to recenter, click on the View tab, and then Align View, and center cursor and frame all. Or you can press Shift-C. This will recenter the orthotic back to the frame.
We can also view the object in many different planes. There's a gizmo here that we can click on for this, but it's much faster to use the tilde key. If we search for our tilde key, which is the squiggly line above the tab key on the left side of our keyboard, holding this will bring up this pie menu. If we drag our mouse in any direction and then let go of the tilde key, it will orient us to the plane we highlighted.
Now that we can move our object around, let's click on something. If we click on the orthotic, it will be highlighted. Same goes for anything visible in the viewport. These are referred to as objects. Objects are 3D assets made up of polygons. These polygons are made up of 3 things: vertices, edges, and faces. What we are seeing in this viewport are the objects, but we don't see any vertices. That's because we are in object mode. If we switch to edit mode, now we can see vertices, and it will allow us to edit them. It will only allow us to edit the selected object.
We can also switch between edit mode and object mode by pressing the tab key.
You will not be doing much work in edit mode. However, it's essential for you to know, as if it seems like you can't click on anything, first thing to check is that you are in object mode. So now that we know we have objects, let's see how they are organized in the outliner. This may seem like a lot, but don't worry, the software organizes this for you. You should just be aware of what's happening. You'll see we have these folders, which we call collections, and then all of our objects are within them. We have the raw scan folder, and that's where our file from the scanner will go. If we look into orthoses, we have a left and a right, which are then separated into scans, lines, and the softshell itself. If you notice this little TV emoji, some of them are off and the names are grayed out. That means it will not be visible in the viewport. Same with the eye emoji. If the eye is shut, it will not be visible. Now, turning on and off these individually would be really frustrating, so there's tools built in that do this for you. However, if you are working with multiple scans, understanding how this is organized will prevent a cluttered workspace. So finally, we have our parameters. If you don't see this menu, make sure that VPO is selected. We will work from top to bottom and generate the orthotic to specs using this drop-down menu. These parameters control both orthotics, whereas when we get into posting options and other specifics, the unilateral parameters will be utilized in the bottom right corner. This is where 90% of the work will be done, which is what the next lessons will go through.